As homework for this edition of Film and Shows Adaptation, I did end up reading Green Arrow, Archer's Quest, Omnibus Volume 1. And you may ask me why? Why Green Arrow? Well, Black Canary is very important to Green Arrow, and I kinda knew Black Canary was also important for some other movie in that Film and Shows adaptation. And you know what? It's DC. So let's educate ourselves on DC. And yeah, very fun reading. Black Canary rocks. She's amazing. And I am live talking about movies once again. This time around, it's TV shows. We talk about Smallville Season 5, Smallville Season 6. Now, we come back from Season 3, from Season 4. Season 3 was amazing. Season 4 was terrible. It was rock bottom for this TV show. At least now, this time around, the show redeemed itself with Brainiac. Now, I will be honest as usual, and we will change a little bit the formula from last week because it's episode 2 of this edition of Film and Shows. So let's get into the plot for Season 5, and we will be brief. We will also cover the guest list and the recurring roles, and yeah, let's get into it. I will be screen sharing Smallville Season 5 right now. Let's get into it. So this was the final season under the WB, because after that, WB became the CW. So the TV show began airing on September 29th, 2005, and the season ended on May 11, 2006. Season 5 is known as one of the best the show had for many fans, and I will agree to say it's one of the best. It's not my favorite, but I do like it a lot. I cannot blame anyone for liking that season so much. So, showrunner Alfred Kopp, Miles Miller, starring Tom Welling in Clark Kent, Kristen Krug in Lana Lang, Michael Rosenbaum as one of the most remembered Lex Luthor we had. One of the fan favorite Lex Luthor. We also had Erika Durance as one of the best Lois Lane out there. We also had Alison Mack, the lady that went into a cult, but that plays such an iconic character that actually got really popular enough to appear in the comics and other media after Smallville ended. John Glover as Lionel Luthor. Annette O'Toole as Martha Kent. And John Schneider as Jonathan Kent. Now, we will spoil the entire thing. This was the final season with Jonathan Kent as a regular, with John Schneider as a regular. He comes back in season 10, but here's the thing. This season, again, spoiler. This season, Jonathan Kent dies. This is why it's such an iconic season. So let's get into the plot. A few months after season 4. Well, actually, the first episode is right after season 4. We get Clark chasing after other Kryptonian. He stops them, and then there's hint that there's a Phantom Zone at some point. But the season really picks up with Clark losing his power after not listening to Jor-El once again. It's a recurring theme with this TV show, especially with the early season. So Clark loses his power, and now he has that relationship with Lana, and now there's no more lies. Until lies are back because Clark dies and gets resurrected and gets his power back. But hey, for like 3 episodes, we got a powerless Clark in some of the worst episodes in the show. As much as a lot of people praise these episodes, I cannot stand episode where Clark is not Superman. And I get it, he's more than just Superman, but I watched Smallville to see him like speeding as fast as bullets and like saving people and having like super strength. This is why you watch the Smallville TV show. But yeah, so this season introduced Milton Fine, aka a Brainiac. And guess what? Brainiac wants to bring back Zod. And in that 22 episode season, we get to see Clark and Lex friendship truly being over because they are such different people at that point. And Lex is smart enough to reject lies, and Lex is also on a very dark path where he actually in Lex Mass decides, you know what, a happy life as drama, and I don't like drama, so let's have a sad life with power. This is exactly what's going on. So Lex rejects his good side in season 5 and he starts embracing the dark side. Now in season 5 he is not quite the villain we know. It takes 2 seasons. But in season 5 he starts doing shady stuff I like I don't know if it's YouTube friendly, so I will try to find another word, but he got Aquaman as his prisoner and he's like the animal playing with his meats. Yeah, you can get the picture. So Aquaman is suffering because of Lex. So this is one of the first two big villain moment we get outside of season 4. And yeah, in this season, we really get to see Lex shifting. In this season, we also get a gray Lionel that starts defending Clark's secret, and that's actually siding with Clark. He is siding with Clark, which is really interesting because as Clark loses a foster dad, being Jonathan Kent, he gains a new dad that will influence his life in a very great way with season 6 very soon. So season 5 get to see Brainiac messing up with Clark life, lying about Jor-El, and Clark is tempted to follow these lies. And we also see a big theme of consequences with season 5. And the many lies between Clark and Lana led to their breakup. And Lana decided to take refuge in Lex, which is one of the worst things to ever do. And that was the big plot of that season. And it all leads to Zod taking over Lex Luthor's body. Oh, and by the way, now Chloe knows Clark's secret. And not only that, but Clark also knows that Chloe knows. Because in season 4, Chloe knew, but she didn't really tell until season 5 came out. So that's the setup for season 5. So many things, so many consequences. So here's my review for season 5. It is a standout season. I always remember that season as being one of my favorites. And I will also go to that length. Even some of the filler episodes are amazing. That season, true and true, is great. There are really terrible episodes here and there. There are episodes I cannot stand, but overall the product is quite good. So let's get into my worst 3 episode and my top 3 episode. Episode 5 is unwatchable. We all know that Thirst. It's one of the worst episodes in the TV show. It's universally disliked. Who likes Thirst? Really, I want to hear about someone that liked the episode Thirst. I want to hear your take. Why did you like it? Anyway, I don't know what they were thinking. Oh, and by the way, season 5 is the first season with the Daily Planet. And season 5 is also the first season where Lois Lane is a series regular. Because in season 4, she was just a recurring guest. So, let's just go to the worst 3 episode with, again, episode 5 being terrible. Episode 16, I wasn't a fan. It's the hypnotic one where Clark gets whammied and Lana gets closer to Lex. Yeah, this is the episode. Now, the third worst episode is episode 3. That was actually very close from 2. I also didn't like 2. But 3, we get the miraculous resurrection of Clark Kent. And it will come with a price. The price of Jonathan Kent's life. Which is very tragic, which is very sad. Now, the top 3 episode of Season 5. My favorite episode in Season 5 was episode 12 with a 10 out of 10. It's then followed with episode 15 with a 10 out of 10. In third place, we got episode 4 with a 10 out of 10. I did like Cyborg. I did like Aquaman. And Reckoning is such a legendary episode. Reckoning is the episode where Clark tells Lana for the first time, I got powers, let's get married. She dies. But then he goes back in time and he saves her, but Jonathan dies. It is such a tragic episode. It is such a great episode. Season 5 is a standout season. I adore it. Who can't like it? Really, it's a masterpiece. Well, maybe not a masterpiece, but close to a masterpiece. So, Season 5. Okay, we praised it. Let's get into some of the issues I had with Season 5. My first issue, pacing of the season. Despite being the best, it still had 4 filler episodes. Lana was also in the asylum for 2 episodes. As much as I hate Clark without powers, they only spent 2 episodes with him powerless, making it rushed. So again, I didn't like this episode, but let's be honest. It's not a true character arc. It's boom boom. It's over already. What? What happened? The next issue with Season 5, lots of the dialogue was off-putting, and it's like almost a staple at that point with the TV show. I think a lot of the dialogue didn't age well at all. Like, some of the comedy from the 30s aged better than this. It's just me being blunt and honest. My third issue with Season 5. I didn't think the quality check was well handled this season. It wasn't a consistent season since we had some of the best episodes and some of the worst episodes so far. And I will kind of stand by it. As much as I liked most of the season, we got like Tomb in this season. Like, what happened there? Really, like, I'm wondering what they were thinking. And we got like episode like Thirst, but then we got Reckoning. It's so weird. It's tragic. Now, enough of the negative, because Season 5 is a great season. Let's get into the lights. Team of Consequence through Jonathan dying because Clark didn't listen to Jor-El warning. Team of Consequences through Clark-Lana relationship collapsing because of lies. Team of Consequences through Clark and Lex friendship no longer existing because of lies. Lies are a recurring thing that kind of breaks everything in that show. Lana and Lex were a consequence to Lana breaking up with Clark or Clark breaking up with Lana. Either way. Clark trusting Brainiac was a consequence of his distrust for Jor-El. And I will also mention that the Void episode was something else. We had Lana being on eye on something. And we got someone in the chat. Hi there. Welcome to the stream. Anyway, in this review, we are just being honest because that's the point of a review, right? So, this season was very good. It had really great highlights. Let's get into the next slide. The action was cool. Jonathan Dead was emotional, and everything that happened after was amazing. Have you played Superman Returns and Batman Begins video games? I actually did play the Batman Begins one quite a while ago, but I did, and I really enjoyed. And I got a gaming channel that will have some activity very soon. Stay tuned for that. You can subscribe to this channel. It's mostly reviews here, but I have a panel of several connected channels. Anyhow, let's get back to the review for Smallville Season 5. So, the next thing to really enjoy, Brainiac was an amazing villain. And for once, we had a villain that was there for more than one episode, actually, and that's a great improvement. This is why the later season of the Smallville TV show were so great. We had villains showing up weekly, almost every episode. And the same goes for Season 6. Season 6, it's mostly Lex, but we also have zoners and really cool stuff with Season 6. So let's get into the next about Season 5. Lex following the dark path was fun. Not yet quite full-on villain, but clearly stepping away from the gray to embrace the darkness more. Lionel becoming more gray and an ally to Clark was amazing. Lois rising into regular was amazing because remember, when Lois came in Season 4, she was just a guest. She was here and there. Now she's a regular. She's there every week. And that's a massive improvement. Next thing to enjoy, Chloe and Clark embracing their new solidified friendship through sharing the secret was fun. More cool Justice League characters and enjoyable Freak of the Week overall. Team of Death being inevitable throughout the entire season, even by the titles. And we are near the end of the review for Season 5, and we will dive deep into 6 very soon. But I must say, as much as I liked Season 3 a lot, I will give Season 5 a better ranking. I do think Season 5 is a better version of what we had with Season 3. And if you have seen last week's episode, you know how I feel about Season 3. So I will give away to Season 5 a solid 9 out of 10. The same grade as 3, but just a notch higher. Just a little bit higher. The way to do it. So Season 5 is a standout season I really enjoy. I always have great memories rewatching and reviewing this. It's always fun. Let's get into Season 6. The first season under the CW banner. So let's screen share. There we go, screen share. Okay. Season 6 had 22 episodes. It aired September 28, 2006 to May 17, 2007. This was Season 6 for ya. And we have a smaller list of regulars because Jonathan Kent is no longer. So let's get into that list. Showrunner, Alfred Kopp, Miles Miller. And then starring Tom Welling as Clark Kent, Kristen Krug as Lana Lang, Michael Rosenbaum as Lex Luthor, Erica Durrance as Lois Lane, Allison Mack as Chloe Sullivan, John Glover as Lionel Luthor, Annette O'Toole as Martha Kent. And this was Martha's final season. She doesn't die, but she's wrote off because the show doesn't feel like they need her anymore with 7 and upward, all the way to Season 9. She comes back, spoiler. But this is what's going on here. Guess what? Season 6 has something special. Green Arrow is part of Season 6. At that point, he's just a recurring guest. Even if he plays somewhat of a big role, he is like a second coming of Lois Lane. What I mean by there is Lois appeared in roughly 10 to 12 episodes of Season 4, and the same thing happened with Green Arrow. And this is why I like so much Season 6 of Smallville. Green Arrow is a great addition. So the season 6 plot is Lex really embracing his dark side, and he really wants to marry Lana as revenge for Clark failed friendship. But the tragedy in that is deeply inside of Lex, he still does love Lana. He loves her since they met, but he doesn't know love. Because Lionel never really loved Lex. And that goes back to season 3, where the entire 20-ish years since Julian's death, Lionel thought Lex ended his own brother, but that wasn't what happened. And yeah, that's a very complex relationship there. So season 6, we get to see Lex lining up a free gallery. He captures dead people as owners, and he tries to harness the kryptonite freak, the crypto freak, the freak of the week. He tries to harness it and makes his own army. The other side, we got Green Arrow making the same with heroes. Green Arrow put together the Justice League for the Smallville TV show, and it's very interesting. We got Bart back, we got Aquaman back, we got Cyborg back, and guess what? Next season we got Black Canary. Hell yeah, the way to do it. Anyhow, the plot for season 6, as Lana gets a new wedding incoming. Clark fights off a zoner that were released from the Phantom Zone the day Clark came back from the Phantom Zone. So for most of that season, Clark fights off Freak of the Week, but this time around, these Freak of the Week are directly caused by Clark poor decision making, which is very interesting and goes back to Consequence again. We also get a Martian Manhunter, a new Justice League member, coming, showing up, saving the day. We also get Jimmy Olsen. Jimmy Olsen is Chloe new love interest. So that's the plot for season 6. Clark fights off freaks, and Lex is turning a really bad leaf. He is becoming the villain of the show as teased in season 4. But now it's really the climax of that. Lex really does really bad things. He exploits people and he ends people's life by accident this time around. But this is what's going on. And we also got Lionel as somewhat of a shady ally. So season 6 overall, it's a tragedy. I do like that season a lot. But I feel like each time I end up watching it, it gets slightly worse. But again, I'm a huge fan of season 6. I would rather watch 6 than 4 or 6 than the first 2. Because I do think 6 has so many great things going for it. But again, we must be honest, and this is a downgrade from 5. So let's get into the top 3 and the worst 3 episodes. So we start with the worst 3. Episode 12 is unwatchable. It's an unwatchable episode. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry for all of the fans for episode 12. But the idea is cool. But again, it's another of these episodes where Clark doesn't have hours. That's why I cannot stand it. Now, the next episode I don't really like is episode 20, the Noir episode. I don't know what they were thinking. And when you watch the Talkville podcast, you realize they wanted to do a freaking musical. Are you kidding me? I'm glad they didn't do it. Maybe that would be an even worse episode. But it's like the pinnacle of a filler episode at the end of the season. It's like, why, folks? Why? Episode 13 is another unwatchable episode. Even if it's somewhat important to the plot, it's unwatchable. I'm sorry, folks. But like, sometimes the Red K is weird. And that's what we get. Weird Red K stuff and cringe. So these were my worst 3 episodes for season 6. So let's get into the top 3. In third place, we got episode 4 with a 10 out of 10 with Green Arrow showing off the first time. In second place, we got episode 7 with, I believe, a Rage with another 10 out of 10. And my favorite episode that season was episode 11 with a 10 out of 10. So, let's get into the issues with season 6. Oh, the love triangle was horrendous. It was painfully bad. And at that point, the show made it clear Lana is no endgame. But they still want to milk it. They still want the freaking annoying love triangle. It felt like we revert back to season 1 and 2 realm there. Oh, look. They cannot be together because there's Lex. Why? It drove me nuts. Really? It drove me nuts. I cannot stand it. Each time I rewatch this season, I die inside. With the Lex, Lana, and Clark love triangle, I cannot stand it. Really, I can't. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry if you like that relationship. I didn't. My second issue with season 6. Most of the freak of the week were forgettable and weak. And it's tragic because we had like some wrestler in it that was interesting, and they had very interesting power set. But the characters themselves, it's like, not really, folks. Not really. Now, my third issue with season 6 is the following. By cutting parts of episode and by removing filler episode, we can move from 22 to around 16 episodes this season. Many episodes had great moments, like Subterranean with Lex walking in 33.1, while amazing music was playing. Unfortunately, the same episode had atrocious freak of the week and terrible plot with awful dialogue that didn't age well. So that's just a prime example. Subterranean had the best ending. But then we had the Mexican crossing the border stuff with the guy that kidnaps them to exploit them and then to end their lives. It's CW, folks. What to expect? Like, we moved from the WB to CW. This is what happened. This is the birth of CW. I look like I'm overly negative because I am. But I really like the Arrowverse. And I double up on the things I had issues with season 6. But these were my issues with season 6. Season 6 is a standout season. I do like, despite my issues with it. So let's get into the likes. Let's get into why season 6 I regard it as a top tier season. A season I really enjoyed. So my first like, Green Arrow addition and the creation of the Justice League was amazing. Green Arrow did elevate some weaker episodes like Sneeze, Hydro, and Reunion. The 3 episodes I just mentioned could have been really bad if Green Arrow wasn't around, but Green Arrow was around, and you're like, you know what? I can forgive some of the missteps of these episodes because Green Arrow is in it. I'm a big Green Arrow fan. I've read so many comics as of right now. I've read lots of Green Arrow, and I'm looking forward to read even more as preparation for film and shows adaptation next summer once we get into Arrowverse stuff. So again, Green Arrow, it's peak. It's a great iteration of Green Arrow we get in Arrow, or I should say in Smallville season 6. My next like about Smallville 6th season, Lionel becoming an ally to Clark and a better father to Lex was amazing growth. He is the most complex character since he will have ambiguity on his actions. Lana and Lex both feeding off each other's worst parts was great plot. Lana turning evil was a nice parallel with Lex. The action was entertaining. Lex becoming a villain was a slow burn that was a great experience. And it was only the start because really the big shift is in season 7. So they plant the seed here to flourish in season 7. Lana learning about Clark's secret was great and felt earned. Lois becoming a reporter was entertaining. Jamie Olsen addition as a recurring guest was very fun. Martha's send-off was rock solid. Nice team of taking responsibility with Clark fighting the Phantoms. Martian Manhunter was another great addition. The return of Cyborg, Aquaman, and Bart was amazing. Overall, season 6 is something else. I am a believer that this season gave the blueprint of what the following season would look like. They were like, you know what, we are heading toward a Justice League show. And this because of season 6. There's so much to like, despite the negative, despite the fact that it's not as good as season 5. It is a step in the right direction because we got great characterization, great cast, great story. Lex turning evil. We got it. Anyway, season 6 for me is a well-deserved 8 out of 10. And each time I feel like it's slightly worse, but hey, it's still a standout season I enjoy a lot. Did you like season 6 as much as I did? Anyway, this is the outro. Let's talk about what comes next to the channel. This week, we fire up the Metroid Prime 4 streams if I can get my hand on a physical copy on Thursday. Maybe if I can't, I will just purchase online, even if I don't like it. Outside of that, well, Saturday, our usual day for politics. And next Tuesday, we talk about Smallville Season 7, Smallville Season 8. So stay tuned next Tuesday, same time, for Season 7 and 8. And next Wednesday, not tomorrow, next Wednesday, we finish off Mainstream Movies Review Season 3. With that being said, I cannot wait to talk about Smallville next week. And I am out. Have a great one and take care.